Deni Avdija had a slow start to the 2025 NBA season, but then he turned it around and put together a strong year, emerging into the territory of a borderline all-star at the moment. He is one of the more underrated players in the league, and I think one of the things that pops the most of Deni's game is his rim pressure. He put up 17 points, 4 assists, 7.3 rebounds on 60% true shooting, solid efficiency, and Deni operates at a 44% frequency when attacking the rim and shoots 65% from there. For being a guy who is 6'9", 240 pounds, he is a big forward and also a very quick forward with his burst. And a lot of his attacks to the rim, you see that burst. He gets attacking in a straight line and he gets low and stays on balance through traffic and doesn't get moved much by contact. Deni is a tremendous transition attacker, something he has done since his time in Washington. With the amount of boards he recovers, he can just grab the board and go and be a one-man army in the fast break. It's a valuable skill to have and a needed skill to have for this Blazers team who does struggle to create consistent high-level shots in the half court. Deni is a bigger body just trucking at you in transition, and he can also change directions fluidly, which keeps defenders on their heels. He can get into some behind the backs or push crosses to change directions and blow by the defense on his way to the cup, and then he has some slow step finishes he can lean into to slow down his momentum, draw fouls, or throw off the defense. He is very stable and on balance when he initiates contact, with bumps when going to the cup. He put up a career high in free throw attempts this year at 5.2 free throws a game. Along with his transition game, his closeout attack game is also really strong. The threat of his jump shot off the catch makes defenders close out and respect his shot a bit. He shoots 35% off the catch. It's not great, but it's still respectable for defenses. He prefers driving right when attacking a rotating defense, and his burst and getting low to the ground with his dribble, as well as him needing minimal dribbles in open space to get to the bucket, helps out a ton in his downhill game. He has a variety of low and high gallers to swerve by the defense, and as well as some slide by moves. I'm really impressed all around with how his driving game has come along, because he is very crafty with his moves, the change of directions, deceleration. He isn't always going 100 fast to the basket. That deceleration he taps into adds another element in his driving game that makes him unpredictable when going to the cup. A guy that size, moving that quick, who can also bump you, create contact, slide by you, change directions, slow down his speed, that is just a recipe for a constant problem for defenses when he gets going downhill. He does struggle dribbling through tight gaps in the defense. When they wall up or have multiple hands out there against him, he thrives more in situations where it's one-on-one, beat one defender and then meets another. He struggles when the defense is set, loaded up, and against him, and he has to make quicker decisions and spot a teammate better in those situations. His handle is really solid and it helps in putting together his moves, but it can also get much more tighter. He can work more on his handle. He doesn't just attack defenses in a straight line. He can change directions, create new angles to attack, and create shots for himself at that rim, which is a very good sign for someone his age, but it's just navigating the tight spaces for him that he has to get better at. I think the biggest thing for him right now is just developing more of that mid-range game. The teams are defending Avdija, knowing his main goal is going to be attacking the rim, so a lot of that gap help is going to be active in deterring that. This is where he could fall back on pull-up jumpers, step-back jumpers, floaters, or even developing more in the post for face-up jumpers or fadeaway shots. I think that post-up game would be beneficial given his size and strength, and especially if he could get smaller guys on him, it would immediately bend the defense. The mid-range and post, it just adds more into a scoring game and something defenses have to scheme more against him. He operates at a 22% frequency in the mid-range, which is basically an area that isn't existent for him. Defenses can just challenge him and go under his screens or sag off of him a bit to see if he will actually shoot. Deni has dipped a bit into some pull-up three-point shooting at a low volume, but shot 40% off the dribble threes. He shoots a fair volume overall from three, but the next development going into next season is just punishing defenses with that jumper in the mid-range and from three. The threat of his shot is going to put defenses in a tough position to choose whether they give up the drive or shot, and that's one of the best positions you can be in as an offensive player, because at that point you could dictate the defense at all times. So just continuing to improve on that threat of his shot to keep defenders really honest is a key development. He shoots 78% from the free throw line, and it wouldn't surprise me next season if he can average like a 7 free throw attempts a game or more a game, because he does put constant pressure at the rim, and his physicality and battling defenders who is being physical creates foul opportunities. Now his driving game does need work, mostly in terms of creating for teammates and that in-between game. He isn't the quickest court processor, his pass accuracy can be better, tons of just careless or off-target passes thrown, and he could be prone into dribbling into traffic or stalling out his dribble, which makes him vulnerable to getting stripped or put in tough positions to make a pass, generating turnovers. He averaged 2.7 turnovers a game while averaging 4 assists a game. His usage is also increasing year by year, and within this Blazers young core, he is a guy leaned on to make a lot more decisions. So you kind of want to see that 2.7 turnovers dip down a bit and take care of the ball more. He's a solid playmaker, but there's definitely another level of processing he can get into when defenses really channel in on him and force him to make tough decisions. He's getting comfortable as a pick and roll operator, jailing defenders and getting into the bodies of the big and attacking, staying patient in these situations to see if a teammate gets open and making that pass, hitting lobs and kick out passes. As mentioned before, he likes driving right, so if a screen is set for him going left, he really likes utilizing jabs to fake the drive left into the screen and burst to the rim going right. Defensively, Deni is good on ball, really active on ball. He is big enough to keep up with stronger, bigger wings, and also shows some solid foot speed to keep in front of lighter, quicker players and stay physical with those guys. His defensive stance is more so upright. He doesn't really get too low, prioritizing keeping that ball in front at all times, and he is able to move his hips fluidly to keep up with change of direction moves. He isn't very handsy as a player or quick with noticing when to poke the ball, but he does do a good job in absorbing hits to the chest and playing through it. Off ball, he does slip on that end, but he's still serviceable, but he isn't the most sound when rotating. He can be slow on noticing when to rotate over and come over to help. There's periods where you can see him just relaxed and ball watching, not really engaged off ball, and he's not really paying attention to his man. I've seen this countless times with him. But overall, I think Deni is a strong, capable on-ball player with flashes of shooting, playmaking, rebounding, and on-ball defensive presence, which makes him a very interesting young player who has shown to get better year after year. That'll wrap it up for this breakdown of Deni Avdija. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more NBA breakdowns like these. With all that being said, I'll see you all in the next video.